personal today. We're doing a very low grounding flow, so I decided to bring the camera as close as possible. So, welcome everyone. I am Christina with Jai Bhakti Yoga Foundation, and this is a Yin Freedom Flow. So we are opening up through the body, we are channeling out all the energy that is stored in there, really stuck energy that we keep allowing ourselves to sit with. And during times of transition, this is a wonderful opportunity to allow yourself permission to sit through your yoga practice and allow those areas that are holding tension to slowly, and with your pace only, so never forcing anything, eventually the body will open up on its own accord. So you do not need to force yourself into any of the poses. Today what you're going to need is your yoga blocks if you have them, and I brought two different sizes out for you to see, but you can always use a pot or a pan, something that kind of has a similar height and shape to bring the earth to you. And if you are going to use a pot or a pan, then I would suggest, good morning darling, I would suggest using a blanket or something over it to just make it easier for you on your joints. And also a pillow is always welcome, so just go ahead and acquire all of your tools while you're running around your house. If you can hear me in earshot, make sure that you also have with you, collect a blanket or a towel, which you're gonna need. I like to fold it in half like this, so a towel, beach towel, anything like that, that you can use that would be comfortable for underneath the body for supporting you. And then lastly, of course, I love to introduce our strap. So when we practice, I love to use a strap because it helps to basically become an added extension to your arm. So please note that in yoga, if what you see, the perception of what you see on cover of Yoga Journal or what you see on Instagram, the glamorized poses, every body is different. And I just want you to take 2 seconds to bring this into your awareness. So something that I can do, and sometimes I joke a lot with everyone, I say I have these super long monkey arms, because I kind of do. So I'm able to lengthen my torso and my ligaments and my bones really a lot differently than you can. And in this yin practice, I want you to understand that where your maximum is where you're supposed to be today. And in teacher training, we go really, really deep into this. But just for 2 seconds before everyone begins, we're gonna sit and just bring your right knee in. And your knee might be up here today, it may be down here. And it doesn't mean that you're not flexible or that you are too flexible. It just means that this area is extremely tight some days, and some days it's not. We also have to keep in mind that our bones are very different. So if you bend your left knee, you keep your right foot in and you extend your arm out in front of you. For some of you, your knee is touching your elbow. For others of you, like me, I have space between my knee and my elbow. So this is not a pose for me that I'm gonna be able to be very comfortable resting my arm on my knee as others will be. Also keep in mind, binding poses where we're wrapping our arms behind us or coming into twisting is only available if your bones allow you to get into those shapes and spaces. So really keep that in mind when we're practicing together. Really don't put any judgments on yourself. Now let's begin. So for those of you that haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you get all of these videos for free. Every single day we post them along with tutorials and other flows, maybe 5 or 10 minute flows to get your day started if you don't have any time. Secondly, you want to subscribe to our IG Instagram channel where we offer a weekly meditation, which is going to be posted on our upcoming schedule you'll get tomorrow. And then finally, you're going to want to visit our website and also send us comments, suggestions, so that we can create video and content for you that's going to maximize, empower, and progress you as we continue to practice together. Okay? So, with that said, I am your teacher, Christina Andrini with Jai Bhakti Yoga Foundation. I am here to serve you. So your comments, your feedback, your information is what I need to curtail these classes for you. Let's begin. Let's start laying down on our backs. And what I will encourage you to grab is your blanket and or towel, and just roll that in half and place that along the long part of your mat. You're gonna lay down on it, okay? Now you're going to let your little tushies come down onto the earth. I just naturally sit on my knees like that. So now you're gonna bring this blanket right underneath the lumbar spine. Your pots and pans, your blankets, your bolsters, your pillows, you're gonna You're gonna place them in the happy high height if you have blocks. If not, then just stack everything up, all right? And then you're going to release your knees, release your back, and you can adjust as needed, but we're gonna come down together. Just roll on down, y'all. And now here's gonna be the funky walky part. So this is where you're gonna need to bend your knees a little bit, lift up, lower down. We're just gonna settle. And then release the legs long. And from here, we're gonna come to grounding breath. So let your hands either, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Roll the shoulders back and down. And then begin to breathe very nice here. Just conscious breath. Inhaling and exhaling. This is something we don't do every day. So it's just nice to tune in. And again, y'all, just make all the little adjustments as needed. You want to be very comfortable in this pose. Everything is relaxed and everything is supported. And just allow your eyes to get heavy. Close the eyes if able. And in this space, beginning to set an intention. Intention setting, grounding work. Maybe it's simply just clarity. Maybe it's simply just breathing. Notice if you can allow yourself permission to get a little heavier in the support of your mat. Notice in this space if you can let go of a certain pattern or behavior that keeps coming into mind. Intention of yoga to link movement to breath. We explore our practice with deep curiosity. Give yourself permission to discover where you hold something, where you need to. Specifically through the sciatic joint, the lower back, where we hold most tension. I focus mainly on lower back sensitivity and herniated discs. So really being mindful and attuning. Notice if you're gripping your jaw. Discover if you can graduate to Ujjayi breathing and the belly rising, pressing into your hand, and hearing the sound of your breath like the ocean waves crash on the seashore. You might even take yourself to this beautiful coast, whether it's Jamaica, or we'll be in September, or this beautiful space where you can hear the sound of your breath flowing through your body. Reach the arms long behind you, get a stretch, and really feel the stretch from your shoulders. Reach out through the fingers. The legs are still relaxed, y'all. Inhale, reach the arms up in the direction of the sky. Exhale, bring them back down. Repeat that 3 more times. Inhale, sweep the arms up, right above your head, like you're maybe holding a block between your hands. And then exhale, reach the arms back. Maybe even offering a gentle squeeze, not touching the palms, just squeezing them towards each other. And then inhale once more, reach the arms up. So just working through the shoulder girdle, working through your serratus anterior. Those beautiful shoulder blades, those little happy wings we have on our back. And just helping the bones to regenerate. Our bones regenerate every 10 years. So yes, your body can change. Yes, it can. Okay, this time, the next time that the arms come up, sustain. And we're going to draw the knees into the chest. You might take both legs up, or you may take one at a time. Hug yourself here, knees in. Your back might still be on your blanket. That's cool. And reach the legs up to 90 degrees. Again, a stretch, extend, flex through the feet. Actively spin the inner thighs towards one another. So those are known as your adductors, the inner thighs. And you want to add them together. Adduction, togetherness. And then press actively through the heels towards the sky. Allow your arch to press into that beautiful blanket that you have there, and notice the whole body arms. Oh boy, just a little bit of good. And then tick-tock over to the left. Take the legs over to the left, just a smidge, not too far. You can bend the knees for this one. And then inhale, let's come back to center. Exhale to the right. Uh-oh, we're having some technique difficulties, I see. And then inhale, come back to center. Hold for 3 on the other side. Flex through the heels, engage the core. Press the right hip down. Reach actively through the right arm. Good. And then lower abdominals, draw up and in. Pull yourself back up. And then take yourself to the other side. So really working on that core. Really draw your belly button up and in. I just love hitting my little gym gyms over here. Good. And then flex your little heels. Dorsiflex your toes. Come back to center. Bend the knees for bridge pose. Feet hip distance apart. And I'm going to just use this block here. I'm going to move the blanket out from underneath me. Take my feet to hip distance. And I'm going to place this block, the chubby fat one, in between the thighs, but in the long shape, not the thick shape, the long shape. In between, so I can just have an awareness, a body awareness in space of where my adductors are going to squeeze into for this pose. You don't want your knees touching, and you don't want your knees to sway too far out. You just want them to be in the number 11. And from here, your shoulder blades are going to come down, and your hands are going to come down. This is going to look really funny, and I saw your cute little happy face there. Don't look at me now. Look right up to the ceiling, and you're going to lift your hips, and you're going to lower the hips, and just roll, articulate through the spine. You're going to lift up, push through the heels, draw the knees forward, push into the shoulders, push into your triceps, and then exhale, lower yourself down. And we're going to do that 3 more times. Inhaling and exhaling. If you want to add your arms, you can reach the arms up back behind you. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Last one. Sustain, and when you get to the top, lift up, squeeze the block, push more into the heels. Couple more breaths. Notice the lower abdominals. Want to draw in here to support your spine. Push into the hands if the hands are down by your sides. Returning back to the breath you started with here. Remember, keeping that breath strong and powerful will generate that heat and the hard work that's cultivated within the body to sustain us. Exhale, lower yourself down. Let the shoulder blades part away from each other. Let the spine articulate down into the earth, even the sticky part of the lumbar. Draw your knees into your chest. Hug yourself here. Embrace. And we're going to rock from side to side, and we're going to rock ourselves all the way up to seated. When we come up, balance on the sacrum. So we're sitting right on the sacrum space, right above the coccyx. And we're lengthening up, lifting up the chest. And we're just balancing here, supporting ourselves. And you can hold the back of your thighs here. You can let the arms go out by your sides. You can lift the legs about 90 degrees parallel to the earth, so the 90-degree bend. This is a sweet add. I like to take the thinner block for this one and place it in between the thighs to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. This will fire up your abdominals. Again, the tapas, that heat energy cultivated throughout the body. It's also one of our yamas, niyamas. And then exhale, we're going to lower ourselves all the way back down. Inhale, roll yourself back up into your bridge pose. It can be modified. Sustain. sustain for 3. I'm sorry, not bridge, Navasana, my bad. Legs are shaking, smiling is good. And exhale, hug yourself in and lower yourself down. So you're really getting a somatic experience of what your body and your muscles are doing. Last time, let's come up, squeeze your block, lift your chest, zip up through your lower abdominals, squeeze everything into one line, roll the shoulders back, arms out in front of you, and this time, instead of coming down, cross the legs and come to seated pose. Sukhasana, easy seat. In Sukhasana, this might be very sensitive for the knees. Also keep in mind that your knees may be way up here today. That's fine. What we're going to begin with doing is sitting on a block or a blanket. I'll choose to sit on a blanket today. I'm going to roll my blanket in half one more time, so that way it creates more of a height for myself to lift my hips. I'm going to place it just underneath the bones of the pelvic girdle and let the pelvic floor tilt slightly forward. The knees are going to begin to drape down little by little, but don't force them if they're not there. Hands to the knees, we're going to make tiny little circles. Tiny little circles in about 5 of them in one direction of choice. And you can close your eyes here, you can soften your gaze, you can stare at me, whatever you want. But we are going to be working on creating space through the pelvic floor. This is where we get our floating powers. All of those really fun poses that might challenge us at sometimes, but they really empower us to cultivate an awareness of where they can go and evolve. And then let's just switch directions. Just itty bitty. So you don't have to go too far. So my flexi yogis, just their bodies are naturally limber like that. And so for them, they have to work 10 times harder to strengthen their bodies to sustain poses that they can easily and gracefully come in and out of, as opposed to those of us that don't have that kind of body development. And so we cultivate the strengthening to achieve the lengthening. So you don't have to be flexible to do yoga. Yoga equals flexibility. It's why we do it. And then let's come back to center, pause, inhale the arms up, palms touch if able, and then interlace the fingers above you and then press the hands away from you and then tick-tock over to the right. And then just gonna look over under the left armpit and then inhale, come back to center and then all the way over to the left, gaze up towards the sky. And then one more time over to the right, press away. And then inhale, come back to the left. And you don't have to go far, y'all. Keep the hips down, just opening up through the rib cage here. So, yoga is accessible. It's adaptable. It does not have to be forced, and that's what we don't want you to do. And then let's come back to center. Release the hands down by your sides. We're going to come to twist. Left hand, right knee, right arm behind you. Look behind you. We're going to take 3 breaths here. Just close the eyes if you would like. Where the breath goes, it's still present. Please inhale, come back to center. And from here, we're going to take the right hand to the left knee, twist. If you can hear your exhale clearing you, where we tend to wring out, release any tension that we no longer need. It's Independence Day, so we're creating our independence, we're finding our freedom, detoxing, releasing. And then let's kindly inhale, let's come back to center and round the spine. Inhale, lift the chest, hands to upper thighs. Exhale, round. Inhale, neutral. Bring the knees together. Let's walk ourselves over to hands and knees. Now be very mindful. Some knees are extremely sensitive, so you really want to double up your mat or use a blanket or a towel underneath your knees to protect your knees. You also don't want to be right on your patella. You want to be just underneath it, so that way you have a space of grounding and it's right over where the tibia bone is. So let's go ahead and bring our hands down right underneath Wrists underneath the shoulders. I'll use my blanket and protect my knees. And let's go ahead and come into the cat-cow stretch. Make sure you have a 90-degree with the hip and the knee, and round the spine. Drop the belly with the chest, spread the clavicle. And exhale, round the spine, top the head. Let's do 3 more on your own. Step the right foot forward and walk it out to the edge of your mat, right hand inside the right foot. And from this space, I'll ask you to take your blanket with your knee back just ever so slightly, so that way you create more space in your psoas. And we'll come into psoas stretch for a yin space. We're going to be here for 2 minutes, so just focus on your breath. You're welcome to take a block and bring the earth to you, which is always a sweet add. You want to stay long in your spine anyway, so it's not about dumping the weight. Remember that every body is different, literally, so honor yourself where you are today. And if you are capable of coming down to your forearms, keep the knee and the shoulder connected. So you want to keep them close to each other. You can untuck the back foot and allow the top of your foot to rest gently into the earth. Just take some time here to close the eyes, soften your mouth, soften your gaze. And the belly is still very strong, beautiful friends. The belly button is very active inside, drawing up towards your spine. Tailbone reaching down towards your heel. Breath is flowing through you. It should be effortless breathing. If you're straining, please back out of the pose a little bit. Come up a little bit higher. All right, darlings, now we're gonna take a little bit of a moment here to reposition the hands. So if we're midway through, so if you want to go a little bit lower, if you want to come up a little bit higher, please take your time to discover where you're headed to. And we're going to be there for the last 35 seconds. Out the mouth. Inhale, hands press into the earth. Push yourself back up. Let's walk back and forth here. Rock back and forth. We're going to stretch out that calf, stretch out into the hip flexor and extensor. And then from here, we're going to take that knee back to meet its buddy. And go ahead and take the left foot forward. Take it to the outside edge of your mat. We're going to drop the right hip slightly down, walk the right knee back, extend. From here, plant the hands down, look forward, 2 minutes, find your favorite version. Remember, you can work your way down as well. Concentrating on your breath, the regenerating of the body, the bones. Body awareness, awakening our mind's eye into conscious awareness of what we feel physically, as what we feel physically tends to be an indicator of the body talking to us of what we're doing subconsciously that we need to pause and stop. We're way there. So if you're taking it down, go ahead and take it down for the last minute, last half minute. Remember to keep the knee and your shoulder together as besties. Allow the heat to generate from within. And then when you're ready, let's walk the hands back to the mat. Lengthen through the spine, reach, and from here, a little bit of wiggle wobbles back and forth. This time, we're not going to take the left foot to meet the right. We're actually going to come into pigeon pose. So we're going to take the left foot and bring the knee down behind the left wrist, and the right wrist and the left ankle should be about parallel to one another. This might be extremely strenuous for a lot of students, and so for those of you that are having a little bit of trouble with this pose in this direction, I will encourage you to come onto your back, but I'm going to just finish explaining this variation. You're going to place a block or a blanket underneath your left hip to keep your hips square and facing the same direction. From here, relax your right foot down into the mat, and you can TP the fingers. If the knee is really tight and it's sensitive, pull that leg as close to your body as possible, and over time, you'll work towards getting your shin parallel to the front of the mat. You're going to be here for 2 minutes if you haven't gotten there already, and completely relax. If it's so intense but you kind of want to try it, just go ahead and put the weight onto the left for today if you don't have any support, just to kind of see what that feels like. And over time, I want you to start working on keeping the right hip and the left hip square to one another. This is a very active pose, y'all, so you are isometrically engaging right hip to left hip. You're pulling everything in. You should be able to sustain yourself and lift your arms up towards the sky. That's how intense the lower abdominals or the lower belly should be. The legs should be as well. Now, for those of you coming onto your back, the reverse version, you're going to cross the left foot over the right, and you can stay seated, or the last minute and a half we have, you can come onto your back. So you have the variations to try here. Just a couple of breaths more. Adjusting as you need to, always honoring your body. Listen to it, it's speaking to you. Are you holding the breath? Is it still present? This is a pose where everyone wants to come out right away, so just breathe in the space, hold into the space. Don't hold the breath, hold the space. From beneath us. And we're going to slide the right leg all the way around. We're going to help that buddy out and slide it all the way around until it crosses over the left thigh. If this is not an option for you, then you can extend the left leg long. That's cool, all right? But maintaining where you are, for those of you that are able to do that today, we're just going to stay close in the shape of Lord of the Fish pose. Left elbow outside the right knee. Start to turn the body, and then right hand behind you, gaze is behind you. Look over the right shoulder. Find a gentle smile. A couple of rounds of breath. need to push yourself too hard, especially if you ate before yoga. You're going to be feeling it, so we don't eat 2 hours before class. And if you do, just like a couple of nuts or yogurt or something soft. Inhale, let's come to the center. Release the right knee down to the ground. Extend the left leg long behind you, right into our pigeon pose. And again, take a little support of choice and place it right underneath your tush. And the shin is going to ultimately journey its way towards the front edge of the mat. I have a very sensitive right knee, so for me, I use a lot of propping. And also keep in mind, this is a deep engagement of the lower abdominal muscles. So I know a lot of us more flexies, we go really into it really deep. So this is a time to challenge yourself to zip up through your core and support yourself. Maybe work on strengthening isometrically and holding the arms out for the next 2 minutes. Working on playing with that type of intention and energy for those of you that are working on the strengthening of the pose. We'll be here for another 1.5 minutes so you can start to work your way down. I really enjoy the use of my blocks, so I'm going to use that today. And use them to support my upper body as I work through engaging my lower abdominals. Again, remember the options that we talked about before are welcome here if you want to take them onto your back. To close your eyes. Just really tune into the awakening of the body, tune into the renewal, the freedom you're releasing, nourishing. Yoga unites our transformation from the inside and out. There is no master of yoga. Now slowly begin to come up. Remove the prop from beneath your hip, and we're gonna scooch all over to the right. Slide the left leg all the way around, and help your buddy out. Cross it over the right. Lengthen up nice and tall. Nice happy spine. Hug yourself with the right arm and turn to the left. Release the left hand down. Look behind you. Coming into your twist. You may take the right elbow outside the left knee if you wish. Lots of these poses really nourish the knee joint. So it's important to really activate the quads to protect. Let's come back to center. And this time, both legs are going to cross over each other in fire log pose. This is a challenging pose. Sometimes the knee can be very high up, and if that's the case, place a block here and rest. For others, you might have the knee just slightly off, and that's fine. Leave it there for now. And of course, you can place a blanket to support the space. Flex both feet, ankle over thigh or over knee, and lift up. Again, if you need to lift your hips to sit on a prop to elevate, please do so. This will also open up through the hip flexors and sustain. For some of you, you're going to begin to come forward if that's for you. As soon as you feel the sensation, please pause. Close your eyes and remain in that space for 3 minutes. So this is a space where yin generates a lot of heat in our bodies. You may think we're not doing anything, but really bring this awareness to your body. Are you rounding in your spine? And if so, back off and come all the way back up so that you're not. Push into the block or push into the ground nearby to keep your chest lifted. Breathe into the thigh muscles. Relax your jaw, relax your eyes. There is no rush here. Notice the contraction in the abdominals if you're drawing your belly button in towards your spine in this pose. About this point, you're going to start to feel a very intense heat energy rising through the thigh muscles, maybe even through the shin, around the tibia. Just relax a little bit more. Just focus. If you need to walk yourself back up, do so. So in yin, we don't want to overstretch the muscles. We don't want to stress them out or create trauma. If you go too far, you're actually doing a disservice, even though it may feel good. You want to create the strength for it to release, working through what is known as your myofascial system. And now from this space, we're going to inhale and take the arms up towards the sky, reach up, and exhale, release the hands down, draw the knees in, shake that out, let it go, and we're going to cross, and we're going to change to cross, up, step. Now we're going to switch. The right on the bottom, left on top, or vice versa, whichever side you do. I think I did this already, so I'll do this side. Okay. Now, lift and lengthen, and begin to come down. And please also modify as you need. Using your blocks, using your props. Just 3 minutes. It goes very fast. First things first, we press into the tailbone, we secure the foundation, scoop the pubic bone under slightly, and then lift up through the chest. Push into your blocks, shoulders back. You'll discover one side is way different than the other, naturally. You might discover you might walk further forward on this side, again maintaining the length in the spine. And over the last few practices together, we've been discussing allowing the sound, the nada yoga, the yoga of sound, to permeate through the body. So you're welcome to, as you exhale with or om. Just allow yourself permission to hear and resonate. A lot of musicians love to hear the vibration of sound, and it inspires their inner body bright through music. And so for music, for us, is the breath, the sound of the breath. the space. Exhale, release the hands down by your sides. Good. Let's remove our little props here. We're going to alleviate all this tension right now. So release the legs out long in front of you. Go ahead and tap that out. You can shake out the legs however you like. Let's reach for that strap, or if you have your belt or scarf or cinturón, whatever you need. And we're going to place the strap around the bottoms of our feet. Now, me doing this might be really simple because, like I said before, I happen to have really long bones. But for others, you might need to bend your knees to get your strap around the balls of your feet. So go ahead and do that now. Then flex your feet, lift your chest, and sit here. You're going to begin to extend. There is no need to fold forward. Extend the legs long until you feel the hamstrings stretching. Once the hamstrings stretch, the backs of your knees should be pressing down into the ground. You should be so engaged that you might even lift your feet, your heels off the ground. Inhale, lift up. And then on the exhale, we are going to begin to come forward, keeping the back straight. This is where I stop. 5 breaths here. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Draw the lower belly up and in. Roll your way back up to neutral. Take the strap to the right ball of your foot. Lift the leg up. Take the left hand to the strap. Hold it. Reach the right arm behind you. Reach active. Flex through your heel. Good. And then let's come back to center. Oh, release all the creaks and cracks and pops. I know mine just did too. All right, other side. Ball of the foot, strap and ball become best friends. Extend the leg out long. Lift. Take the right hand to the strap. Slide the left hand to your left hip. Stay long in the spine. And then turn to the left. Lift the left arm up. Kick through the left heel. Happy V's. V for victory. 2 more breaths. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. 1 more. Okay, let it go. Let's come back to center. And let's go ahead and let's come down to our back, shall we? So let's take the straps. Let's take all the tools, all the things, all the yoga things, all the things over to the side. And then bend your knees and let's come down to the ground. All right, roll down. You can support yourself. You can walk your way down. All the way down. And from here, we're going to windshield wiper our knees from side to side. And this is a sweet add. You can also, for me, I suffer with sciatic joint issues, so windshield wiper is not my favorite thing. What I prefer to do is just drop one knee in and then the other knee in towards each other, and I'll turn towards you so you can see what I'm doing, is knee drops in and then the other one. I much prefer doing this for my sciatic issues, so this alleviates tension for me. I will not drop to the left or the right when I have a flare-up, so I will remain here or in constructive rest. I will take the shape of the twist when everyone else does go into the twist. For those of you coming into the supine twist, you are going to drop your knees over to the right and gaze to the left. And if you do take your knees over to the right and you do happen to have a little bit of a flare-up this morning but want to get a little bit of a stretch, then just keep the knees apart and then place a block right underneath your thigh or your support system underneath your thigh so you can create the shape and still get the release for the discs in the spine. You're going to look towards your left so the cervical spine and the neck extensors are a part of this twist. And then release the arms out by your sides or one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and just discover what feels the best for you.
Inhale, let's come back to center. And now to the other side. Exhale. So you're going to take the knees over to the direction of the left. And if you did do the full twist, go ahead. I'm taking super modified, so just the thigh, and making the right knee goes over to the side a little bit too. I'm going to look towards the right, so I'm going to get to look at your beautiful faces. Feel free to close your eyes. You can soften your gaze, you can relax your jaw. Always having your support systems nearby when needed. And then finally coming back to center, let's extend the legs out long. Or again, if your lower back is still a little bit soft, we're going to come back to the pose we started with. So for those of you with soft lower backs that are a little bit sensitive, we'll go ahead and place that blanket right back underneath where we were before. And everyone else, go ahead and extend your legs long as we journey into Shavasana together. Taking a few moments to ground and settle. Tune back into our sacred space. Relax the eyes, relax the jaw. Taking a moment of gratitude to honor your body, thanking your body for the exploration and the journey it went on. To know and understand that even when we slow our poses down, that we're still working very hard, that we're still generating heat on top of us. And in the space of restoration, we allow it all to go and just to be. To one side or the other, whichever you prefer. We're going to come up to seated, drape over the legs, kind of hang out. Roll up. And let's meet each other here in Secret Space. Or you can have one hand covering your heart and the other. Take this time to honor our loved ones. Sending out all this healing energy to everyone. close our class with the sacred mantra Om, an invitational sound of healing energy, the universal vibration, where we let go of all that is and was and will be to the source, to God, to your divine being. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Jai Bhagwan Ki Jai. Divine light that lives in me honors the divine light that lives in each of you. Have a blessed 4th and a blessed rest of your week.